Hey, Paul from Akewatu here, and today we're talking fins for longboards, single fins. Don't forget to subscribe to the Akewatu channel down here, get all these videos as they drop. Okay, so fins for longboards, single fins. There's a load of different ones of different shapes, sizes and colors out there. We're gonna look at some of the options available to you, what sort of board and sort of wave they suit, and how they're gonna keep you having fun in the water. Okay, so when we're talking single fins for a longboard, let's look at a fin, very pretty fin from Coalition. But let's just first of all look at the shape of this fin. And this is something referred to as kind of a hybrid fin. It's in between various extremes at either end. We're just gonna have a look at the overall outline of this and explain essentially what your fin does. This part here, the base, how wide the base is going to give you your drive or your speed. So essentially, the wider the base, the bit more drive and speed you're going to get from your fin. The more upright the fin is, the more it's going to pivot. So a more uprighty fin is going to pivot better, and more swept back or a bit more rake is going to give you a bit more control through your calves and through your turns. It's essentially going to hold in a little bit longer the more swept back it is. Bunch of different sizes for longboard fins, generally measured in inches. Simple way to remember it, kind of a rule of thumb. If you're surfing your longboard as a single, around about 1 inch per foot of board. So 9-foot board, 9-inch fin, 10-foot board, you get the picture. If you're surfing a 2+1 setup, of course, you can go smaller on that center fin. If you've got 2 fins on the side of your single, that 2+1 setup, you can come down maybe 2 or 3 inches. This one's an 8-inch fin. Even perhaps smaller than that, depending on exactly what your setup is, but smaller size for a 2+1 setup. Okay, so when we're talking single fins, we've got our standard US box, and what that actually allows us to do, which you can't do with a standard kind of shortboard fin box, is move the fin forward or back. Now, this is one of the things that anyone can do with this type of board and kind of experiment a little bit and play around and get a different feel out of the same fin. So if you push your fin to the front of the box, that's going to loosen things up. It's going to make your board feel much looser and more kind of pivoty. Contrastingly, if you get that fin towards the back of your box here, it's going to give you a little bit more control and grip. So it's going to feel just that little bit more control. Maybe if you're surfing slightly bigger waves, or you just want to have a little bit more control, getting the fin further back is going to essentially help you feel that fin more. So just something you can do. You might find a happy ground in the middle, but it's something to experiment with. You can even come in halfway through your sesh and test it out. So worth experimenting where exactly you want your fin inside your box. Okay, so first up, we're going to talk hybrid fin shape, like this beauty right here. The reason it's called a hybrid is because the design is somewhere in the middle of the very extremes that are out there, and this is going to offer you a kind of an all-round feel. So there's different fin designs that do certain things better than others. Our hybrid is in the middle for some kind of general usage. If you're not dead set on nose riding, or it's not one particular type of performance you want to get out of your fin, a hybrid's a really good idea. And it's a general, all-round, reliable fin shape. There are, of course, many others. Okay, next up, we got this beaut here from Captain Fin Co. This is a pivot fin. Why is it called a pivot fin? Well, it's got that pivoty feel on your surfboard. So as you can see, pretty upright fin, quite a lot of it as well. So this is going to tend more towards your traditional style of logging, that type of surfing, nose riding, trimming. So much more about setting an edge and trimming, running up to the nose, giving you that kind of traditional log style of surfing, as opposed to more carving around, that slightly kind of hybrid or even performance style of longboarding. So pretty upright and pretty cool graphic on there as well. So that is your pivot fin. You can also get variations. You can get a hatchet fin, which is kind of similar, but almost has a little bit of an axe head on the end. Similar type of thing. These are for designs based towards logging and trad style longboarding, getting up on the nose and trimming. Okay, next up, we're talking flex fin. Look at that beauty. This one's from Alkali Fins. And the idea of a flex fin, of course, it does give you that bit more flex. So when you're up and turning on your board, the fin's actually going to load up, and you can see from that outline just how thin it is at the tip. And that's just going to help this thing flex. And this is quite a big fin. So what I said at the top of the video about your fin size, if you're riding a flex fin, you can go much bigger. So even for a shorter board, you might be surfing a board even in the 7-foot range. These are ideal for mid-length boards. You can ride a much bigger fin. Obviously there's less of it up here and then it's narrower. And you can see it's really swept back as well. So if you're surfing, as I said, a mid-length, if you're surfing a hull, a board with a lot of V on the bottom, this type of fin is going to work really well. It's for carving off a rail and really using the rails of your board and using that flex involved to give you that little squirt, that little bit of extra drive as well in your surfing. So a flex fin, really popular at the moment, obviously mid-length, bit of an explosion, and a lot of people discovering what these fins can do. And this one here is an excellent fin if you're looking for something in that flex fin department. Okay, still in that hybrid fin type of shape, but much smaller. This one, 8-inch. This is an FCS fin, which is super practical as well. With the US boxes, you'll have use a screwdriver to tighten it up. This one actually just pops in and out, as you saw at the top of the video. So super practical. And this is something that you might use for a mid-length, for example, certainly for a 2+1 or something like that. You're going to use that smaller hybrid type fin shape. This one is for high performance longboarding, if that's your thing, or for riding a shorter board or a 2+1 setup. If you just kind of contrast that with the Coalition, they're not radically different in terms of outline, but you can see the difference in size. So just giving you different options in terms of the size of your fin. Obviously, the bigger your fin, the more you're going to feel it. And this FCS2 Performer fin, the 8-incher, is for surfing that more performance style or on a shorter board. You might even have a single fin short board, for example, and you're not going to want one of these huge fins in there. So something like this size or even smaller, 7.5-inch, might be the fin to opt for you. Okay, so in summary, loads out there to choose from. Don't get baffled by all the different types of fin. Do make sure you have a little experiment and play around, move that fin in the box, find out a good spot for you. And of course you can adjust it according to conditions. Don't forget, of course, to check out all our videos as they drop by subscribing to our channel. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.